The Global Management Conference is dedicated to fostering and promoting global management studies for sustainable economic development. Guided by a program committee consisting of international scholars and practitioners, the conference embraces the following objectives: to promote research pertaining to global management issues across the full spectrum of organizations including corporations, non-governmental organizations and not-for-profit organizations. To encourage integration and exchange of knowledge among academics and professionals worldwide. To develop frameworks for a better understanding of the dynamics of globalization in the process of sharing knowledge and technologies aimed at sustainable development. Globalization P3 is the theme of the 2017 Annual Global Management Conference in Lille, France. It invokes the image of the world of people interconnected in the collaborative enterprise of creating prosperity today, yet sustainable for posterity. The conference adopts this three-dimensional perspective of globalization to encourage scholarly exchanges analyzing globalization trends, its pros and cons, with a view to understanding how globalization today impacts future generations. Globalization P3 invites presentation and debate of scholarly work that considers people first as the engines of the globalization, prosperity as an immediate impact for all, and sustainability as the cornerstone for better posterity. When we first found out about the conference, we were struck how close the theme of this Global Management Conference was to what we were doing at the Planetary Development Institute. Global management, or governance, is a key area of the philosophy of the Planetary Project. The fourth Planetary Project book will focus on global management. We saw with our own eyes the amazing spread of country speakers came from. Delegates from European, North American and African countries shared their ideas with each other. Everyone was heard. It was truly high-level international forum of scholars. The conference was held at the Lille University of Science and Technology. Founded in 1562 by the Spanish, it became French in 1667. Louis Pasteur became the first dean of science faculty in 1854. The Institute of Business Administration is the business school of university. It is also part of a consortium of 33 similar business schools around France. Being one of the top French universities in management, the school is highly internationalized and has an graduates network of 18,000 former students throughout the world.
Welcome. So I hope that people will arrive during the day and other things, because we are only half of the people supposed to be there. So, second thing, the GMC Global Management Conference is a conference which is under the more general umbrella of the Global Alliance Network. Global Alliance Network is a network of universities having made connections more or less 10 years ago. Which were the exact dates of the beginning of the GAM?
No, that was about 10 years ago.
How many?
10 years.
Yeah, 10 years.
Yeah.
About 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. There have been GMC in different parts of the world, in Rio de Janeiro, in China, in Yangon. The pronunciation was good. Okay. Last year it was in Morocco, in Marrakesh. Okay. This year in Lille, and we don't know for next year. Could be in Romania, could be maybe in Poland. We'll try to convince Stefan to make it. Okay. Or in the part of the world, maybe. Before the end on Friday, we will be able to tell you, well, okay, next year we'll try to make it there or there or there. Okay?
So, thank you, Besson, for making this happen. I had the opportunity to talk to some of you already, and what I'm trying to do is to introduce the Global Academic Network to you. And mainly we are interested in Global Management Conference. So let me first thank you for being here. For me, it's a great pleasure to be in France today and introducing the Global Management Conference to you guys. The idea of Global Management Conference, at the beginning it was just like a dream of getting faculty members from different countries, from different continents, to team them up and to think about global management. So we don't know where the globalization is going. So the concept that we are trying to bring is globalization P3. Meaning that P3, the first P, is people. Globalization for people, for the well-being of people. Second P, prosperity, for all, each of us to prosper, to have more for everybody. And then the third P is posterity.
Global problems are a curse of the world today. They include international terrorism, climate change, impoverishment of large groups of population, and the depletion of natural resources. To date, the global community has made little progress in addressing these global challenges. This is despite the continued work of global institutions, the adoption of the doctrine of sustainable development, and the signing of the Kyoto Protocol. The problem is that there is no global anti-crisis management policy that would involve a plan addressing global issues, a consolidated budget, and a single management center. The concept of planetary rent implies that this kind of rent is fundamentally a new form of supranational global income. It is used by the entire global community to solve the world's economic, social, environmental, and political problems. The top priority of the planetary economic policy and global anti-crisis management should be the salvation of the Earth's biosphere for present and future generations.
What is the planetary project? The Planetary Development Institute is developing what's called a planetary project, which addresses the world in a sort of a new way. And it's an ongoing project that studies ways of using planetary resources and planetary rent, in this case, as a means of addressing global challenges. That you see, well, this is the first book by our general director and main author, and we all, of course, contribute, Alexander Bezgodov. This started as a critique of sustainable development in terms of inducing some economic pragmatism into that by compatibility and social justice. Right, so this paper consists of different parts, and I'm going to first define the rent, the notion of rent as a kind of income, sources, conditions, and mechanisms of rent creation, methods of calculating rent, rent appropriation, and institutionalization of rent relations. Global problems, there are multiple global problems, some of them are presented here, and there's been different solutions that people have, as a humanity, looked at, and different efforts, the Kyoto Protocol, sustainable development, and so on. But there's really, what's lacking is a consolidated budget maybe for these, for tackling these issues, single management center, and a sort of an anti-crisis management policy. Well, we are trying to reverse that and present a new planetary rent. Planetary rent, well, there are three sources of rent. Natural resources, raw materials that are used in industry, infrastructure, etc., and they're in public and private ownership. Then there's nospheric resources, that include factors of social and historic origin, again, human, intellectual capital, and infrastructural resources. They're also owned, okay? But there's a third source, what we call planetary resources. They're not owned currently by anyone. These are, such such resources of cosmogenic and terrestrial origin that don't fall under any jurisdiction, energy of wind, ocean, atmospheric air, and so on. But all of these resources are involved in technological cycles. I mean, they are used, but they are not owned, by any particular entity or a state. But planetary rent, the concept, we propose that there should be a shift in thinking, because basically planetary rent, the planetary resources belong to nature, belong to the Earth, and not to people, not to individual states or corporations or whatever. And so basically we have to give back. Now, second stage can be that planetary rent should include all capital invested, strategic and non-renewable resources that are still owned by individual states, and hopefully, as we see here, that the states will, diminish its regulatory function and delegate, at least in this case, delegate their functions to a planetary governance body. At the third stage, quasi-rent factors. And quasi-rent includes intellectual, technological, and infrastructure. Like, for example, talent rent. Basically human resources that also can be turned into an object of rent. So, since we're short of time, I will probably come up now with conclusions. The concept of planetary rent implies that this kind of rent is a fundamentally new form of supranational global income. Obviously, what we're seeing right now is the United Nations is always short of money. Different states are paying, not paying, paying less, and so on. And so this is a new source of this global income. That's how we see it. It is used by the entire global community to solve the world's economic, social, environmental, and political problems. The top priority of the planetary economic policy and global anti-crisis management should be the salvation of the Earth's biosphere for present and future generations. And of course, why we came here to this conference is exactly in line with the G globalization 3P. People, prosperity and posterity. And so this is hopefully one of the answers to the issues that are posed in this conference. And so we are inviting anyone, any questions, and also to join our effort if you're interested. Thank you.
Well, I'm David Boji, and I'm the chair of Sustainability Council at New Mexico State University. For my university, I teach sustainability. So it's a very exciting topic, the planetary project, because it would allow us to do something constructive with these corporations and individuals that are buying up the water rights and buying up air and land and resources that belong to the planet. I like the whole idea of paying back to the planet, because the planet provides us life. So I'm not sure how to get this implemented, but I'd be happy to participate.
I think too often we have the externalized costs that people don't recognize that there's a cost to someone. As long as it's not to me, I don't notice. And corporations do the same thing. If it's not a direct cost to us, it's irrelevant. So I think this is a great way to say there is a cost, and everyone should take their fair share of compensating for this kind of cost.
Yes.
At this conference, we received an extremely valuable feedback from our colleagues regarding our ideas. This experience will definitely help us develop the planetary project further and strengthen our arguments. We express our gratitude to the organizers for their hospitality and taking such good care of us. We believe that every conference participant has taken with him or her yet another insight into understanding the world around us, its problems and ways of solving them. Our special thanks go to Professor Dominique Bresson, Ms. Elmira Fadafan and Mr. Yuri Villaverde. They helped us a lot. Thanks to them, our work at the conference was comfortable and interesting. This conference gave us an opportunity to present our ideas, and we are happy that the paper was well received and generated a lively discussion. With your help, we found new friends and hopefully our future research collaborators and partners.